Axons Unleashed.
G'day everyone, welcome back to Axons Unleashed. I've got a very special episode today. I'm joined by Tami. I've got Dan here as well.
Ooh.
We're coming to you live and uninterrupted from downtown Gold Coast here in mid-February 2022. And we're here for our 5-year podcast anniversary episode. How are you, team?
5 years. Happy birthday, Axon.
Hasn't time flown? I feel like I'm almost a guest on this now. It's been like so many episodes that obviously we've had external people coming in and sort of speaking with us that I haven't been here for such a long time that I'm like, oh, do I get a special announcement? Like Robbie does his big ramp up when he's got new people on. He's like, oh, let me tell you the background on this guy. And I'm like, nothing for me, mate? No, just Dan, he's here.
You're part of the furniture, you know.
You helped us establish this podcast, mate, so you are part of the furniture. Yeah, so it's a 27th, is it, Tami? Is their actual birthday?
That's right.
When we lodged
Axon
the forms?
was officially registered on the 27th of February 2017.
Please go back and listen to episode 1 of Axons Unleashed if you're wondering when, how, why this little baby of ours was created.
Absolutely.
It's all got to do with Tinder, and that's got nothing to do with Tami and I, as a little reminder.
How was it? Like, how were the little heart palpitations when you got that ASIC form that you lodged and you finally, like, you've now started this little piece of everyone's furniture, as you sort of put it there?
Well, to me, I think it was a bit of a blur because it was just getting shit done at the time. Like, there was no real... We were really in hustle mode then.
Because it got dropped on us, remember?
We were in hustle mode, so I don't think it really sunk in. It was just like, okay, the forms arrived. Okay, do this. Okay. It was like another checkbox, I guess. And it's only years later now that these kind of things you look back and you go, oh, wow. Yeah, that was quite a moment. But I think, I don't know, at the time we were just in hustle mode, just getting shit done, getting it started, working out how to use CRMs and what marketing we were going to use and just all the legalities that we had to put in place just to even get set up. So, yeah, I don't even think it sunk in for a while.
What I take it for what you're explaining there is noting what we think we know about business now, compared to what we thought we knew about business back then is fucking worlds apart. So I didn't even really know what the form meant, to be fair. I'm like, I just knew we had a registered business now and we could do shit.
You didn't do any of that. I just showed you and you're like, okay, file it away.
Yeah.
It's not in file 13. Actually keep that one.
Yeah, so we got... full disclosure, for those watching on YouTube, we've got some bits of paper here. I can't see what's written on there, but I do understand that there are some messages from each of the team members.
From the team.
We're going to read them out live here on the session. You guys are not listening live, but you'll get the picture.
You'll get to see us giggling for the first time as those memories come up. I hope we're giggling and not crying. Put it that way.
Me too.
Well, yeah, I hope it will. We've asked for their best memories.
Yeah, what's the most impactful thing that they can like? If they were sitting in here right now, what would they say about their time here at Axon and experiences, etc., etc.? But yeah, I've actually done a little bit of preparation for sort of what I feel is
You're going to drive
important.
Dubs crazy with all your banging around with your paper and your noise.
So I've only done it once. I was just showing people that I've got one here. And it actually was created by my little nephew, Jack, came in to visit me yesterday. And I brought him here to the office and as 20-year-old little nephew. And he's like just asking me question after question after question after question. He goes, so did you ever think that Axon was going to get this big and you guys were going to help out this many people? I'm like, not really, mate. He goes, well, how did it sort of happen? I said, well, it just started with Tami and I in our bedroom and it bought a $50 whiteboard, et cetera, But the main thing for me that's like why we're here right now is just having a solid belief in why the business was started. Like if you fully believe in the reason why it's here, how we help people, focus on customer experience and just making sure that we're not in a business just to make money. We're here to actually change people's lives. All the rest of it sort of takes care of itself. I listened to Nathan Cleary this morning on the news, and they're talking about Penrith Panthers doing their defence of the premiership, He goes, we're just going to focus on process. We're not going to focus on results. If we focus on the process, the results will take care of themselves. And I thought that's pretty much what we do. We've got an ever-improving mindset. We're focusing on just making sure we've got our mantra is finding the best properties in the best locations built by the best people with the best value. If we just like focus on those 4 things and don't deviate from that, the results will take care of themselves. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like focusing on the outcome, then process, then feeling, whereas you should focus on the feeling or then go backwards, work out the process, and then the outcome.
And you've been a huge contributor to that as well, Dan, making sure that all the business processes, and even yesterday I was like, oh, the Zapier link's not working for this and that. I'm like, go fucking see Dan. I didn't set that up. So yeah,
Robbie's like, what's Zapier?
I know what it is. Excuse me.
Just.
But I don't know how to set it all up. So, your background and your technical, your willingness to take up some of that technical stuff that you also had no idea about has been a huge contributor. So, what's your sort of thoughts on how the business runs from a process perspective?
I almost look at it now, and it's interesting to see that on day one, like when I first turned up and Robbie's in a wheelchair and it's kind of a shit fight, right? But then you take a look back now and everything has its own little segmentation. It's like, okay, if I know that this needs to happen, I'll go to X person. If I needed this piece to happen, it goes to Y person and Z person and so on and so forth. So it's almost like whilst everyone used to go to 1 or 2 people to do everything, now it's like, oh, I've got my own little chunk of the pie, and you just segment that little chunk of the pie off, and it's an orchestration effect now rather than a just getting shit done effect, Tami, that I think you spoke about in those first couple of weeks. Was just like everyone just gets shit done versus now it's like, okay, I know that I can trust my team. Maybe I can trust Simo and I can trust Jane and I can trust Noah to run their bit. What do I need Noah to do to be able to affect RT, to be able to affect Simo at the back end? So it becomes more of an orchestration from a process perspective, because the processes for the day-to-day operations are all sort of happening rather than creating that shit on the fly, which is kind of what you're doing on day one, right?
Well, yeah,
collaboration is what you just said. Yeah, it's great.
A lot of the processes in the beginning were definitely just figure it out, but it's amazing how much those times that we did figure it out, we've kept them and we've just grown them. Like the CRM that we use that had like how many slides for how many tiles along for
maybe 20 when we first started.
So that was for how many steps in our process.
Now there's about 100.
So but that's all come from growing the business and evolving all of those processes. So we started off, figuring it out, but we've also figured it out along the way as well. Just building on the things that we've learnt along the way.
Well, that's the ever improving mindset, and that's why we give people a survey when they settle on their block of land to go, right, how was your coaching? How was your finance? How was your solicitor? How was the sourcing of the property? Getting to that point where you own the block of land, give us your feedback on how that went. And then, of course, we get another survey at the back end of the build, give us some feedback on how that went. And how many business processes, Dan, do you think that we have refined, improved, tweaked based on that client feedback?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, mate, there's one person that this all really matters to, and that's the person who's receiving the experience. And I know that people sort of say, oh, the customer's always right. I don't quite believe that the customer's always right, but I'll tell you what, they've got a bloody big vote. And like sometimes maybe you just go, well, maybe that customer wasn't the right fit for who we are and what we do and what we believe in. And if that's the case, then maybe we can weight their opinion a little bit lower. But if the person that you're speaking to is the absolute epitome of who it is that you want to be able to help, then that holds a lot of weight to be like, if that wasn't right for them, it's not going to be right for the other 95% of the people we actually want to talk to.
Yeah, and we've had to tweak things not only in our own business, but other people's business, just to make sure that they're working the best way for our clients as well. So that's, I think, been the biggest challenge is getting people to see the Axon way as well.
It's a classic part of it. Like, I remember when we did our very first business plan, I said on there, we want referrals and repeat clients to be a big part of the business. And the only way that's going to occur is making sure that people have a great experience, because we all vote with our feet. We all put our own reputation on the line when we say to someone, hey, go watch that movie or go use those services or go talk to that people. So go talk to those people about whatever it is. find a bloody great mechanic. Oh, go talk to Jono's on the corner there. So it's really important that we have had so many people come and use our services again and or refer their mates. And, do you remember, Dan, in mid-2018 when we decided to turn our back on 95% of Australia and only focus on the Defence Force community? So, right, let's now do this. Sure, it provided us the greatest benefit because as a veteran-owned and operated business with over 120 years of military experience, we only now started talking to the Defence Force community, but it was the greatest. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
it's
a big risk to take when you go, I'm going to narrow in on this group here, and they look after each other. Like defence members have always got their back of each other and just be able to look after themselves as well.
But it's also a lot of pressure too on our end. When you're relying on people to pass on their great experiences to others and recommend, you also have to be wary that people are going to tell others if they have a shit experience. So that's always at our forefront of our mind, especially when they're dealing with partners that we've referred to or we've partnered with, because if they have a shit experience from someone else, that still reflects on us.
Yep. Hey, so even though 5 years is not that long, the lives of us have all changed. The lives of our clients have all changed. There's been weddings, there's been babies, there's been deployments, there's been people discharging. Unfortunately, there's been relationship breakdowns. There's been people that have had to sell properties.
It's been life.
There's this crazy thing that we're all living called life.
Dan, I feel like you've been the one.
Example, Exhibit A.
If you've met my wife, you know she doesn't do things by halves.
Were you engaged when?
Nope.
No, probably not.
No.
You just had a girlfriend that you were doing FIFO with.
No.
Long distance relationship.
Back in the day.
Yeah,
then
marriage.
I reckon
2 kids.
I only moved in with Anne like the day before I started with Axon. So you just got out and you moved up. Because I got out, I finished my last day in the military, drove basically straight up. Probably got there. Maybe let's call it. I got there on like a Thursday or Friday night.
Via McLaren Vale with a couple of cases of wine in the back.
Half of the back of the ute was filled with wine, yes. I needed to pack around it, obviously, just to keep it nice and sturdy in the back there, make sure the bottles didn't break. There's a few Magnums came through. But, moved in with Anne probably 2 days then before starting at Axon. And then, shit happens relatively quickly in our lives. I think we're both just big believers in when you've made a decision and when you know something's the right move to make, you just you don't fuck around and go and second guess yourself. You just figure out the way that you're going to move forward with it rather than sit back and go, oh, well, if we do this, then this could go wrong. If we do this, guess what? There's never a good time to do anything in your life. You just pull the trigger once you know it's the right thing and shit. If you're good enough, you'll figure it out.
So what year did you get married? Oh, there's a pause there. Edit that pause.
No, 2019.
Or do we keep it in shoot?
2019.
Oh, that was fucking funny.
No.
I won't ask the date then after that.
No,
where's the crickets thing?
31st of August 2019.
Well
very
done.
good.
You
Very
got
good.
that.
But similarly, like we've seen our clients' portfolios grow. Mm-hmm. We've got many clients now that are building their 3rd and 4th house with us. So over a 5-year period, that's freaking awesome. But there's been 10 properties that our own internal team has bought as well over the last few years. So you've bought your own home. We're building our own home. Dane's bought his own home. So, a heap of people have bought some investment properties. James is buying his own home. So, people are sort of progressing their own lives as well, which has been really, really cool. And ultimately, that's what time does, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It just, I suppose it just feels like a very compressed nature of time as well, because I think the same thing would be if you looked at other people out in the real world, if you took a snapshot in time of their 5 years as well, you'd probably see some massive changes happen in their lives as well. Like, that normal stuff, births, deaths, marriages, all the stuff you need a certificate for, like that stuff happens in everyone's lives all the time. I think it's especially relevant to us because we're so focused as well as an internal team. So it's like, okay, well, I know these 15 people so intimately that I watch every part of their life and I talk to them about their family and I know that the surgery's happening and I know that this is happening. I know there's a baby. I know there's a house. You're in each other's pockets when you're living and breathing it so much that you get to know each other very, very well.
We do have that family environment here, don't we? It's one of our values.
We do. It's also been great to see not only the stuff that's going on outside of work, but how much the team have evolved themselves. Like some of them have had no property work experience. They've had some life experience with property, but some of them had started with just learning from scratch, and it's been so beautiful to see the growth in the team members as well, and just how much they excel and love our clients and their passion is growing just like yours, I guess.
And the civvies have had to learn all the TLAs.
And the FLAs.
Oh, man.
The acronyms and the sayings and
we're
the
gonna do
abbreviations.
We're going to do some games with that coming up on our TikTok, I think, soon with the ADF veterans versus the civvies with some of those 3-letter acronyms and seeing if we can guess them.
All right. Hey, speaking of which, let's get into some amazing feedback. Well, I can only assume it's amazing. Full disclosure, I've not read it. And we've got a couple of people on notice that if we want to bloody drag them in, well, we will.
I'm going to look at them one at a time.
Oh,
Use my other page.
Yes, one at
Because
a
you
time.
said I'll skip forward.
It's a dirty little habit of mine. If I've got a whole page to read, I'll read the whole page and I won't pay attention to you until I get there.
All right, and again, full disclosure, I literally sent a little message on our little internal messaging system. Fucking funny that. And I said, righto, we're going to do a podcast in 20 minutes. Send through your most memorable moment. Like if you were here right now, what would you say to everyone? So the first one is Hayley. Go ahead and read that out, Dan.
My most memorable moment, only being at Axon for 2 weeks and then going to Daydream Island with the team as part of our annual plan. Shithouse start to your time here at Hayley. And I think that 2 weeks she was also in quarantine the entire time.
And she just finished 12 months of quarantine down in bloody Melbourne.
She had to fly up and she was in the hotel quarantine, and I dropped her some snacks and food, and she was working with us, but she had to start remotely.
She got out and we took her to Daydream.
There you go. Well, she's been down in Melbourne, locked it up for 12 months. She probably needed to work on her tan a little bit. So, but she really enjoyed her first handover for a build that she managed from start to finish by herself as well. So in that instance, the client drove up from New South Wales with her partner and was just so bloody excited about it.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
good. It might have even been Leanne.
Oh,
Leanne
right.
Barry, yeah. I guess that's
That,
who it might have been. That's pretty cool.
That just shows as well how much they invest
Their
into
care.
this, their care and their passion for our clients. You know, getting excited for someone else's house. It's amazing. I love that.
Absolutely.
Well
Next
done,
one,
Hayley.
Tammy, you can read this one out.
All right, Natalie. My favorite memory with Axon is when we were at Daydream Island.
Again?
Yeah, that was a good trip. We had a yoga and meditation session under the water with all the fish and beautiful corals. That was in an underwater aquarium. It was amazing. It was just so nice to share that moment with the team. I'd love to say I had a favourite build, but I just can't pick. I've met so many amazing people since joining the team, and it's been a joy so far. Again, the family bond, but also the passion for the clients. Love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
All right. RT, Renee.
Oh, go grab her, can you, Dubs? Go and get her at Dubs. Go get Renee. The most memorable moment at Axon is the family barbecues we used to have in the old house.
Oh,
so,
yes.
we did.
You boys
have a
used to
few
go out
people. Is she coming across, mate? Yep. Awesome. Get in here, Ren. Quick.
Oh, she's doing the shuffle.
With her old busted hips, I don't know if she should be allowed to run around at all.
Hello. Come and whack those bloody headphones on, champion, and come and join us.
in.
Now, you have been on a podcast with us before. Can you hear me okay?
And she's hosted me on one of hers.
Oh, yes. How are you, buddy? We're just reading this out. My most memorable moment at Axon is the family barbecues we used to have in the old house. So you were with us relatively early, and then you went off and did something else, and now you've gravitated back home, which is really nice.
Which I'm going to take is a very good compliment to Axon. I'm sorry, but if someone's coming back, we're doing something right. So
I miss the family barbecue.
Oh, no. Well, tell us about the family barbecue. Is there one in particular, is there one's memory that really sticks out for you?
Or probably when I nearly lost my job because I brought the hot beers, but
You only ever do that once.
She didn't nearly lose her job, but she did get a written warning.
I said, mate, that's strike one. Don't ever fucking buy me hot beer again.
So what happened was Renee was requested to go down around the corner to the bottle shop, get a couple of bottles of wine and a carton of beer. So it's not just that she bought a warm carton of beer. I could have lived with that if she'd put it in the fridge. But instead, she just grabs a couple of bottles of wine for the ladies
That were cold from the
wine
cool
was
room.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
wine was cold.
Put them in the fridge and then just left the beers out on the counter for an hour and a half while we continued to work and cooked the lunch for her. And then she goes, oh, yeah, I probably should have done that. What did Ruben think about that when you told him that you failed to chill the beers?
Oh, he just wasn't surprised. He's like, yeah, fair enough. That sounds like something Renee would do.
My favourite memory of you, Renee, is when you during the job interview and you were like, oh, I probably shouldn't tell him this, but what did you say? What?
Well, we're talking about like what Ruben told me not to say if you guys asked me what my strengths and weaknesses were. And I was like, oh, one of my weaknesses is when I start drinking, I can't stop.
Tammy's like, you're hired.
It was something like when I open a bottle of wine, I don't have to finish it or something. And I was like, hired. But you're like, oh, but he told me not to say that. And I just did.
And it worked. I got
Too
a job.
Hey, tell us quickly. You have you with Axon when there was like 5 or 6 of us. Now you're back and there's like 15 or 16 of us. So, question without warning: what's the biggest change you've noticed?
Oh, everything though. Like even like as individuals, like between the 3 of you guys, how much you've grown in your positions as well. Like Dan wasn't in his new role as COO when I left before, like, so even just seeing him grow and Tam, like, see how you grow in your position that you have. But what I think one of the biggest thing is, and the most important is still how you guys have kept like a family, which, you know, for a lot of businesses, and it might change one day the bigger that Axon gets, because it's just going to be one of those things that'll be hard to maintain. But, you know, it's still very important for you guys to try and maintain some form of morale. Like, you're still taking us on retreats at Christmas. Like, you're still, you know, we're having a big boat party for the 25th, the 5th year.
The 25th.
Surprise!
On the 25th.
Surprise, 25
Oh,
years.
yeah. It's all right. By the time you guys listen to this,
so
the boat party would have happened already.
Yeah.
How good is it? Did you know on our 25th birthday we're going on a boat party?
I can tell the future.
Mate, we'll own the fucking boat by then.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. And just the relationships that you guys continue to keep with even your external partners and providers. So I think that's the biggest thing that I love about Axon is relationships.
I've thought about this a lot. Like, it's not my intent to ever sell Axon. I haven't started this. We haven't created something from a fabric and soulfulness and something with such meaning for me to then just go, oh, I've been in it for a few years now. I can flick it for a few $1 million and I'll walk away with a big bloody fat back pocket.
But
Like, it's going to go on for
allowed
ages.
to retire.
No. What the fuck am I going to do if I'm going to turn 50 lad this year and I've got more energy than ever before?
All those
so
veggies.
yeah, I'm going to keep this business is going to go on forever. So I haven't bought it. I actually find it fascinating where business owners like stumble across a good idea, put their heart and soul into a particular business, knowing full well they're just going to sell it one day. They're like, I believe in this so much, so I can get fucking rich one day. I believe in this so much because I just do. And I'm just focusing on just helping out. Like you would have seen, no doubt, Ren, if I can put some words in your mouth, our level of care and our level of passion to help people has got bigger and better since then. Like it would be easy for it to dilute when we're helping 200 clients a year, not 35 or 40 clients a year when you sort of first started with us.
Yeah.
But for me, every single person that we ever help, is their individual experience in the business is our number one priority. Do you still feel that?
Absolutely. And I think that's another thing I've noticed, like even though you are helping way more people than what you were when I was here in the client relations role, it's the things that we still do for our clients. It's like, yeah, we're getting bigger and we're helping more people, but we will never not do everything for our clients. Like, it's been crazy time at the moment with COVID and all these, like the whole building industry is absolutely wild at the moment.
Delays and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but we do everything in our power to make sure that we're looking after our clients, even after the growth, like a lot of companies just grow and they just they're like, okay, well, I'm big now. I can kind of do whatever I want. But Axon, that's not the fact at all. Like we are our clients. They make Axon. If it wasn't for clients, Axon wouldn't be here.
Yep.
So I think that's absolutely huge, the love and the care that Axon has for their clients.
And you felt that as well. You bought and built 2 properties with us. When you bought your first one when you were working here, and then you went away and did the other thing, and then bought another one as a pure client.
Yes.
And now you're back working with us again. So yeah, it's like you've come full circle, which is and you and Ruben have now got more than $1 million of property sitting in the market, and you guys are like so young still. Like, it's so fucking good. It's so like, if helping our clients out is such a passion of mine, sure as shit, helping you who wear an Axon shirt every day, all of us succeed, is even a higher passion of mine. So yeah, good on you, mate. You're bloody flying, and Ren, you're an absolute superstar. And I said to everyone ages ago when you first started, once you get your training wheels off and you become really, really competent at being a build support manager in your own right, the fact that you got your own personality and you're built 2 houses of yourself, no wonder the clients love you, mate. Yeah, keep being awesome. All right.
It's not hard.
Get out of here. Thanks, Ren.
Get out.
Bye, Felicia.
All right, let's talk about Angie then. So, obviously, Angie's been around the traps since the beginning, but only just joined inside the actual team. So this will be an interesting one that I'll launch into. Most memorable, joining the boys on one of their first Facebook Live at the house with the makeshift camera stand back when I was one of the recommended service providers. I've been a number one fan since the beginning. Best feeling was the first day wearing my Axon shirt, though. Feel so proud, grateful, happy to be part of the team.
That makeshift camera stand is, it's so funny. It was literally a foam box from like
It was Dan's
HelloFresh or
coffee
something.
machine box.
And the coffee machine box on top of a stool or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
And?
it was a rickety little thing.
Yeah. It had a full, for those of you who, a full Lightning Mac like monitor sitting on the top, and I think they retail for about $1,200 at the time, and it was just
Balance.
precariously teetering on top of this foam box that could have been nudged on a wobbly table that used to be your dining room table at any point in time.
And if anyone knows Robbie, like Robbie is not the most delicate of people when he comes into a room. So the potential for things to go wrong was high.
Yeah. I think that particular Facebook Live that Angie's referencing, RT, I think you were presenting solo, but you'd had a dodgy kebab that day. And you...
I had to like throw you in. I'm like, I'm fucking cactus here, Dan. I'm going down. I had to go outside the front and bloody compose myself.
Trial by fire.
We just hoped that you knew the content
She'd
well
be right,
enough.
mate. Don't worry about
You
that.
jumped on in
As they-
there and you did well.
As they say, no cuff too tough, and I think I've been doing it every day since. as
You
well.
have. Yeah, I was like, there you go. This is one
Robbie's
way to
like,
get it done.
okay, you did that well. Let's go.
You know what? It's classic that as we just move down the list here, that Ange is the next one, because Renee's talking about taking care of our clients for the longer term perspective. As our sort of strategic relationship person now, Ange is now speaking to those clients that built a house with us 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Reviewing the rent, doing a property health check, seeing how they're going in life, just to make sure that they still know that we care about them. And as the saying goes, the number one way to have your clients go work with someone else is stop talking to them.
Yeah.
So, it's
Pretty
really,
easy,
really
right?
great that we've got, Ange on board to be able to do that. All right, awesome.
All right. Tammers, you've got Damo here.
Oh. I don't know whether I should add to his now that I've seen it. So Damien is the most memorable event for me has to be going to Hawaii.
Pre-COVID, ladies and gents, pre-COVID world.
Yes, and we were a much smaller team then. We did have a little event there though with Damien, and he got a little nickname called Chucky.
It's funny because the times of the year that we've gone on our retreats, it's always Damo's birthday.
Yes.
So we celebrate his birthday every time we're on a retreat. So everyone's in party mode. And
he had quite a lot to drink, and
Don't know who would have encouraged any
I
of that.
turned around and
Me and
he
you.
looked at me and he said, I don't feel so well, and then threw up on my shoes.
yeah, we're all standing in bloody.
And he's still working here.
I don't know how. Jesus
Nah,
Christ.
he's
no,
a fucking superstar.
He's a legend.
really, really awesome guy. Like, again, the level of care. And it's funny, he's been my oppo as coach and property specialist for
Yeah.
the first couple of years. And I'm a bit ranty and ravey sometimes, and Damo's the complete opposite. He's calm,
Yeah.
quietly spoken,
Very,
speaks.
very deliberate and methodical is the best way.
Yes.
But he's so caring for our clients. He's just so thorough and caring, and you always get we get such good feedback for Damo.
Yeah. Hey, the next one's Noah. Dubs, do you want to bring her in, buddy? She's our marketing manager. She's an ex-Brazilian, and
She's our favorite Brazilian. Axon's
All right.
favorite Brazilian.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Here she comes.
Come on in.
Come on, Noah.
She's just swanning around at her desk. So basically what Noah said here is my most memorable moments on the official Axon travel blogger. With Axon, I've been able to visit the Whitsunday, Sydney, Canberra and more. When I went to Sydney for the first time with Axon and Tami took me out on an amazing dinner date. We got cut away from this dinner date.
I did.
At the very top of a nice hotel with views of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. It was very
Shangri-La,
special.
no doubt.
Archie invited me to join them in the live Q&A after I just had a tequila with the team. Another special moment was when I first met Hank and Molly, the official support dogs of Axon. They came to support us during our big Facebook Live.
Welcome, Noah. Hello.
Hello.
Our favourite Brazilian.
Hello, I'm the official travel blogger from Axon.
You are.
Been exploring Australia with Axon. It's been amazing.
I actually love it, mate. You've really, really become part of the Axon online community.
Yeah.
You're our marketing manager. You know, you coordinate all the stuff that Daniel does from an AV perspective, all
Yeah.
the content that Sophie does. You're the executive producer, you know, doing all the links and everything during our fortnightly live Q&A. So, yeah, how's your journey been so far? Because you've been with us for what now, 14, 15 months?
Yeah, I
or
reckon
so?
almost like a year and a half, but it's just you guys, you are my family in Australia. So you mean a lot to me. So for this podcast, I really wanted to, thank you guys for being part of my life. And it's so important for me to be here. And I'm happy because I work here and I have you guys.
I remember when you first started, when we're like, you're going to need some support from a visa perspective. And my initial thought was like, this is going to be a pain in the ass. But when I met you and got to know you a bit more, I said to Tamara, we are going to do everything we need to do to make sure this lady has a successful transition into being a Australian citizen. And
that just means a lot.
Still to happen.
No,
it's on the way.
happening.
It's on the way.
It's in progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to hear about how far you've seen us grow for the marketing side of things. Now that we've got our team, I guess, to totally fixated on marketing and just from when you started to what it is now.
Well, first of all, to start off, I don't know how you were doing it all. So Tami was doing marketing, HR, admin, everything. And then and everything was going very, very well. Everything was functioning very well. And I was like, how is she doing all of this? But then we started and we had a few other agencies, but then we were able to build our in-house marketing department. So now we grew to 3 people in the marketing department. But I guess this only happened and we only grew so much because you guys believe in marketing. I don't have to come to you and ask for budget or prove to you that marketing is working, because branding and brand awareness is an ongoing thing that you build one step at a time, and you guys really understand that. You're not like, Noah, what's the ROI? With my little, I always do this. You understand it. Of course, we have our goals and targets.
You don't feel like you need to justify your existence, and I'm like, I'm being a pain in the ass to the business owner or the operations manager. Can you help us out with marketing? I'm like, whatever you need, buddy, I'll do it for you.
There's a lot of businesses
Even TikTok.
There's a lot of businesses as well that expect SEO to work in the first month of just tweaking things. And, from our experience, we're heavily invested in marketing as students. We've been students of marketing for years now. And
that makes all the difference.
Yeah, just to know that things take time, and for anyone out there that has a business, all of your marketing, it takes time. It's commitment to doing things over and over and over again, turning up to the lives, turning up to record content, and
it's consistency.
writing the blogs. Yeah, exactly. All the consistency.
And all together as well. Yeah.
And understanding that our consumers are not just going to reach out to us. We don't buy something based on one image of one brand we've seen once.
Yeah, it's not one ad that's going to make me.
And I'm like, I see that again, and I see that again, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I should actually get off my ass and contact with these guys. I've been meaning to do that for ages.
Yeah, and we do have some clients that have been watching us forever because we know, guys, we have all the tags, okay?
But even
we know we're watching.
even evolving with the times, Reels wasn't a thing before. Stories, now TikTok. These are the things we're constantly evolving, and that's, I think the marketing team is really forward thinking with things like that. Like you guys are always ready to jump on what things we can tweak and try, and nothing seems to be. You know.
How do you say tweak?
That's a funny one. Twerk. So we were in a meeting, in a marketing meeting, and then I was like, oh, but I'm going to twerk those numbers. And then Robbie looked at Tamara and he was like, what? Twerk?
I'm like, I am the Noah translator.
She is my official translator. And then she's like, she means tweak.
You bring a vibe and a bit of fun. Like when we were upstairs, didn't we, Dan? We used to say, "Shut the fuck up!" Why are they like? It's one of those things. I'm not I'm not the fun police, and I don't want morale to be low. But when there's so much fun and so much laughter, it's almost like I want it to continue.
Yeah,
but it can't fucking continue because I can't concentrate.
She has a coffee cup that says, "I'm not loud. I'm Brazilian."
Just so you know, it's not my fault. But I'm getting better. Poor Simo, he always wears his noise cancelling headphones. But when Dane is in the house as well, like when he's in the office, oh my God.
Me,
it's just
you, Dane, like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, we're all very loud.
All right, keep living your best life, buddy. We love having
guys.
you here.
Thanks, Noah.
Happy anniversary, Axon.
All right. Right, get out of here.
So, right, we're on to the next page. So, the next one is Daniel Way. So, he's sitting here in the corner. So, he better not have said anything too bad. Hope he doesn't turn around the camera. He's just...
You want me to read this one out?
Yeah, go for it,
I haven't had a
Jump
chance
in.
to read one out yet.
Mate.
Daniel Way, my memorable moment is coming into the business at the start of year 4 and attending the Brisbane client meetup only a month in and realising the scope of what the Axon team does and the number of people that we have helped. Also going swimming at Merriweather Beach, Newcastle with Dan, Robbie and Dane during a massive swell with closed beaches. The lifeguard let us get smashed by the waves for about 30 minutes before coming over the PA and yelling at us, "Righto, you've had enough now, boys. Dry off, get out."
I do believe that was Dane's fault.
That was during your 75 hard where you
Yes.
had to
Yeah,
get
we
the
did.
workout in.
It's about a year ago.
But what happened was we were sitting there, we were having a good swim. Everyone was catching waves nicely, and then Dane got into the shore break and got absolutely pummeled on pretty much right onto dry sand. And I think that was the point in time that the lifeguard was like, actually, I thought these guys were competent at swimming. Obviously not.
Yeah.
Get out. So we that has Dane's fault all over it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dane, I mean, some of my most memorable moments have been him on the podcast.
Yeah, he's a funny
Some
fuck.
of the stories that he has come up with, that are real, from his time in the military, his time in training. My God, if you haven't listened, you need to go back to the early days of Dane's first couple of ones. Him talking about him going through recruit school and the things that he did. My God, they're funny. We were crying.
Back to Daniel though, just quickly. I've said this to so many other business owners, and I'll say it again now. The number one hire we've had for a long, long time is to have our own videographer in. Having our own AV system, having all this podcast stuff set up. You know, it used to be a massive pain in the ass for all of us, Dan, didn't it? To set up the lighting, set up the microphones, set up the cameras.
It was like a job
everything.
that continually got handed down too. So
Yes.
it was like when I first started, I'm like, all right, I'll set up the lights
I'll do it.
I'll jump on Camtasia and do some crappy bloody splicing.
I was,
and then the Damo got to do it, and then it sort of just continued
Damo
to
did it
trickle
for a
down.
while.
Yeah.
Each time I think in between I'd get handed it back, and then someone else would start and I'd be like, new person.
But it's really good that us as in the management have done all those tiny 1% of jobs, because now we've sort of bubbled we still have a really clear appreciation for what, you know, the work that people need to do. So, yeah, Dan, you have, you know, and so many people have said to us like, your content's on point. I love all the videos. It like everything's so professional.
We had people
boom, boom,
say,
boom.
what the hell has gone on with your videos? Because something's changed and they're freaking awesome. I'm like, yep. We hired a videographer and he's amazing.
Yeah, again, so many business owners wouldn't have the mindset to go, we need to go and spend the money to buy the equipment and, you know, put someone on a salary, et cetera, to make it happen. But again, if you look at it as an investment, and like we can't quantify the return on investment, but what I know is that when we have so many high quality people coming into our lives based on what they see, hear, consume, listen to, and we ain't editing any of it, that's very, very good.
Should have just seen the horror on Daniel's face when I said that I was like splicing shit together on Camtasia. He's like, what the hell were you even thinking?
I was like, what the hell is Camtasia? I've never heard of that in my life.
Mate, you're missing out.
my
Go
gosh.
join the
That
crew.
is not a professional editing software.
No,
I'll tell you
yeah.
that right
Well, it got us through the first 4 years, mate.
Yeah, exactly. we love having you here, Daniel.
All right.
Thanks for everything you do, buddy. All right,
Tam, can
Sophie.
you take us through Sophie?
Holy shit, this is a
Sophie.
long
It's
one.
a fucking, you could tell that she's the copywriter.
Yes.
She's written a novel.
This is going to take a few minutes,
She
team.
is a novel writer in her spare time, so
All right,
I'm not
buckle up.
surprised.
This is a large paragraph.
Memorable moment. She's even got the date, 22nd of June, 2021. I was about a month into my role, and it was the first time I was attending a handover with clients. I had a general understanding of the business, but I was still connecting the dots. It was the day Sam and CJ were moving into their McMansion in Ripley, and I remember getting a ride up there with Robbie and Dubs from the office. We had a candid chat in the car about how Robbie got started in the business after the army and gave me some major insight into Sam and CJ's journey. I'd never met a CEO who was so involved in the entire process and passionate about the cause. We arrived at Sam and CJ's, and I'll never forget the beaming smiles on their faces. They were absolutely in awe. Standing in front of their brand new home, it was an incredible feeling seeing the end result of their hard work and how emotional they were about it. They were so grateful to Robbie, Nat and Damo, and that is my standout moment. I'll never forget it.
Oof, that's a good one.
Yes,
Worth the wait.
I love that. You know what? And to have someone that's in marketing that essentially doesn't have a contact with our clients and nothing really to do with the purchase of property or anything like that, but to have someone that feels that passion for what we're doing, I love that.
Yeah, it's one of those things. They've got nothing to do with clients, but they've got everything to do with the messaging out there. So that, for them to be involved in what the feeling is like on the ground can allow her to come back and then translate some of that into, the content, that we produce. But yeah, it's a great feeling, isn't it, mate, when you go to someone's house and they're just so happy and so grateful and so thankful that we've helped them to get to that point.
Absolutely. It's a hard act to follow, but we've got Simo here. I expect big things from Simo. He's been around from the beginning, so let's see what he's got.
Simo is, he was working as a contractor, I guess. He had his own little business that at the very beginning of Axon that we were sort of trying to work together a little bit. But, then soon enough.
Rapidly got bundled up inside.
Yeah, we weren't able to work together in the same business just to respect the somewhat loosely written but happy to engage non-compete clause from the other business that we both used to work together in. In typical fashion, don't tell me no, tell me how. So we worked we worked around it, and we were still able to continue helping each other on the back channel. So yes, Simo's been involved in my life. I got him to separate from the military and come and actually join the other business. So, and he was a client of mine, Dan, just like what you were. So it's really great to see the way Dave's evolved now as well. And he as an ex-warrant officer, he's the warrant officer of Axon as well, isn't he?
Such a warrant officer.
And everyone needs someone like Dave to be that sort of technical expert and standards guy, I suppose, as far as everything goes from a technical perspective. So go for it, Dan.
The boys do mention when they're doing a property pack and it's out by 0.2 on the ruler,
font.
on the font or something, and it's out or the square's not aligned, then Dave is the man that's onto it.
Yeah. So Simo said that his most memorable event has actually been the whole journey over the last 5 years.
Oh.
Bit of a cop out.
Welcome,
mate.
David.
Yeah,
Welcome.
no specific event there, but I have been
Thanks for being
extremely
so specific. Yeah.
I have been extremely fortunate to have been part of Axon since the start, where I've been able to create and improve processes within the business, which has allowed us to help so many people. So Simo, improve processes, data and numbers and almost
Very much me. Data, numbers,
love it.
processes, systems.
I just said, as an ex-warrant officer in the Army, you are the warrant officer of Axon.
21 years of that stuff drilled into me. I love it. You can't escape it.
How are you, mate? Welcome to a little 5-year anniversary podcast. And you've
Good.
been on here for a few episodes with us now.
Yep.
Yeah, man, how are you enjoying things? And I guess one of the things we just spoke to Renee about, having been here for a little while at the start, gone away, now come back, and you've sort of had that continuity. She remarked on about the level of care that we give every one of our clients is still the same when we're helping 200 as opposed to 30 or 40 a year.
Yeah, it's
So, yeah, you're
something-
very much involved in that too.
It's something that
it gives me and all of us great joy in being able to help that many people, and just having the business right from the start geared towards that, just helping people. That was the focus. It was always been the focus. And even as we've grown bigger and bigger and bigger, more staff, more people on helping more people, that focus hasn't changed. And that gives me the greatest joy to be able to come into work every day. And it's so uplifting to have that sort of mindset around the workspace.
What are some of the biggest changes you've seen since the beginning?
Well, we don't get our Tuesday kebabs every Tuesday anymore. We're just a little bit too busy for that now.
Is that Tuesday or Thursday?
Mate, we used to get a kebab every time we had an expression of interest signed or something.
Oh,
No.
God.
Or like we went out to lunch.
We went out to lunch every
Yeah.
time, mate.
Yeah.
And
then we got-
I
then we
soon
got
would
a-
have
then we got
stopped
a-
to that.
Then we
Jeez.
got in trouble when we had a $150 bottle of wine to enjoy it with.
It was a great celebration.
It
Well, I
was.
just said, well, that's not happening every week.
That was, it's one of those things when you like really overstep the mark, you ruin it for everyone else after you, don't you?
No, that was me. She goes, right, you got a $150 budget for lunch. I'm like, righto, boys, let's have a buddy bottle of wine. $150 bottle of wine.
Yeah,
It's like,
and then he said,
what
I
the
thought
fuck?
you meant $150 was the
Each.
budget for the wine.
Cop out.
Anyway.
No, but it's good. We used to go and share some amazing times together, fellas, didn't we? When it was, we were just the four of us there for a little while, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest changes, one, like I said before, the continuity of the care and what we're trying to achieve. But the biggest changes is the way that we're now achieving that is that we've got a lot more systems in process. We've got a lot more strength behind the business, a lot more experience as well. So everyone's gained a lot of experience to be able to work, not just helping our ADF members and ex-ADF members, but the business side of things as well. Like Tami, you've grown massively. You've had to learn so much to make sure the business keeps going. So huge kudos to you, Robbie, with the ideas and the thoughts behind it, as well as Dan with a lot of the processes for the business as well. It's
Yeah, the spreadsheets. King of the spreadsheets.
Mate,
Spreadsheets are good when you don't have to fill them in.
they auto-populate
Exactly
based
right.
on the way you set them up. Yeah, it's gold. It's gold. No, good on you, mate. It's the foundation of every successful business is to have an awesome brand and have the right people in here, but there's got to be the SOPs, for want of a better word, to make sure that things do happen automatically.
Yep.
And I did say before, like the beginning of our CRM, it used to have so many, maybe 20 tiles or something, and now it's 100 and something.
Yeah.
Split between the process. What are the people and processes defeat chaos and volume?
Yeah.
And you're the king of that, mate.
Yep.
So you take care of all that stuff for us. Like you're like, oh, we've got a good idea about the CRM. We're like, better ask Simo first. you're the gatekeeper.
Don't tweak it.
All right, mate, get out of here. You are done. Let's bring.
Happy 5 years.
Thanks, brother. Thanks,
That's
mate.
it.
Thanks
All
for being
right.
here.
Tam, do you want to launch into this one?
Sure. James, my most memorable time is I made a nervous, borderline inappropriate joke when we were doing yoga at our Axon Daydream Island retreat. We all had our legs in the air stretching, and I said out loud, "This is like tanning your gooch." Luckily for me, everyone laughed, including the yoga instructor. This will always stick with me, as I'm sure everyone present. It really reflects on the relaxed, family fun environment that we all have every day. I don't like my job. I love it.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
And then we were like, fuck it, let's all do that. So then we went out on a boat, I think the next day, and we went to
Whitehaven
Beach, and then we all laid on the sand tanning our gooch at the same time.
Not quite. They were
Everyone had
doing
board
happy
shorts on.
happy
Yes,
baby
yes.
with board shorts.
Yes, yes.
But
Everyone was wearing clothes.
it was hilarious.
But it's good, look, Wilco's got his own story. I met him and Caitlin 2.5 years ago, I suppose, and to their own admission, weren't in a good space financially. And then, they basically did a big bloody turnaround and made it all happen. So now he's a very proud member that wears an Axon shirt. Hey, we've got a couple to go, but we've got a very special guest that's literally visiting the office for the first time this year. She didn't know we were doing this podcast. And I'm like, hey, whilst you're here, why don't you drop in and come and say hi? Put the headphones on, young lady, and...
Say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Come and speak nice and close there.
Right.
Deb, the mortgage broker. You, like every single person listening to this podcast, I bet they know who you are now,
Like,
which is cool.
And if I had to go out and say something about the first 5 years of this, like, I think we need to be honest and say that a huge part of where Axon sits today is because of this lady that's just joined us in the room. She's been a monumental, I know, friend personally to you guys as well as myself, obviously, but I know to you guys as you've started the business from scratch. And I think almost became that friend as well to every single one of her clients that she's helped along the way. And without her diligence, expertise and support, I don't know that Axon would be where they are today.
Definitely not. I've said that on numerous occasions.
And you see that every time we do a Facebook Live Q&A, whenever Deb is mentioned, the chat just lights up. It's like, oh, we love Deb. Hi, Deb. Deb's a legend. Oh, Deb, like the comments are just beautiful about you. So welcome, Deb.
Thank you.
That's a nice little intro, isn't it?
Very much.
That was that intro that I was looking for me, being a guest presenter, you know, all that stuff. Robbie just goes, Dan, sit down and shut up and go.
Put your headphones on. Thank you.
Because I actually tell our clients that Deb's mine, Tammy's personal mortgage broker. We've been working together in the year BA before Axon. So yeah, you sort of were working with myself and that other firm for a couple of years before we started here. So, you know, Dan, even though you've been with us pretty much from the start, and Simo's just said he's pretty much been with us from the start as well. The actual person who's been with us from the very, very start is you. You are the ultimate sort of continuity there. So give us a quick little rundown, mate, about what you've observed over the last 5 years.
Wow. Well, first of all, it's been an honour and a privilege from day one. As you mentioned, you know, from previous firms to where we are today, it's been a wild ride and a very, very exciting one to be able to watch you guys start from your single bedroom up at North Lakes to build the team that it is today. You know, from Dan, Dave and Bugalugs or Renee as the first team members to the team, the amazing team that you've accomplished in year 5 is incredible. I'm very, very fond of each and every one of them. But if it wasn't for you guys to have the dream and to come up with Axon, you know, I think none of us would have had the opportunity to meet and bond the way that we have. And, you know, and I do very much sincerely think of your team as family, extended family, along with the Axon community. Very, very privileged to have met and dealt with many, many clients that have become personal acquaintances. And when Axon has those one-on-one meetups and things like that, it's very, very special to be able to have, you know, that additional interaction with the community. I
wish we had a video when you walked in this morning and come and said hi to everyone, and you were here admittedly before a couple of other people did. People saw you were here, dropped their bags and walked straight over to you and gave you a big hug. Like the love coming back and forward from you to them and vice versa is just sort of phenomenal and really, really great to see.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I feel very warm and welcome when I arrive at the Axon office, and yeah, every one of the team members just, big hugs, love
and
it.
Things have changed for you as well. Like when we first met, you were working with a firm and then you changed over and worked with another firm. And now, hey presto, well over 12 months or so now, you're now your own business. You're a business owner in your own right.
Yeah, November 2020, I put my big girl pants on and decided not to be, you know, an employee for someone else, and, you know, just run the reins and have my own company, which has, you know, been incredibly rewarding. And, you know, and I've got, you know, a couple of team members that, you know, work for me, one full-time and a couple casual that, you know, I am just incredibly thankful and honoured again that, you know, that they're happy to work and be part of my team. So, yeah, my broker and co started, November 2020, and I couldn't have done it without the support of Axon, you know, knowing that, you know, the community continues to be introduced to myself to be able to assist with finance. So I'm forever
grateful.
It's so
cool. I remember you saying to me, like, I'm not like Robbie. Don't ever leave me. Like, I'm not starting this. I'm not going all in. I'm not, like, when you become a business owner, you put all your chips on the table of life.
Yeah.
Because there's no fallback plan.
No, that's right.
And you know, you're like, Robbie, I need you. I'm like, no, I need you. I need you not to go anywhere. Like, so it's very, very symbiotic as far as that goes. And I know that love goes both ways.
Yeah, it certainly does. And, you know, like, gosh, from the early days to what, as I said, you've grown your team today. It's, you know, the people that you've hand selected, you know, the interactions that we get to have with them. I think I speak with at least 4 or 5 team members a day, if not every other day. And when you've got a team of, I shouldn't say thousands, but it feels like it.
That's how many phone calls you get.
Yeah. There can be some intense days. But yeah, I wouldn't do it any other way. It's
your willingness to do everything that can be done legally, morally, rightfully to get our clients' needs met from a finance perspective is by far the best quality that you have. Like, I can't think of a circumstance whereby you have failed someone getting their finance approved. Like, I can't, none springs to mind, which is an amazing effort. Yeah.
I think it's also coming from that care as well. So not putting people in a position that, if it's not the right thing to do, you wouldn't go there either. Like, it's a very balanced approach. Yes, if it's possible, then you'll go. And
absolutely.
I love that.
And I say that to every client. I am a conservative broker. I'll put my toes over the line when it makes sense with their support. But it's not worth anyone's risk. And, financial stress is not fun for anybody, and I don't want to put anyone through that. And I say a lot to a lot of again, the defence members, I don't want to put them in a position of eating rice and beans. They can do that on field exercise. But
nothing wrong with a good packet of Megarang noodles, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. So, but not from my perspective.
There you go. How about we keep Deb in here for the last couple of notes here as well? So you get to participate, Deb.
Great idea.
So,
all right, I'll go to the second last one.
Yep.
This is our amazing build support manager, Jane. So, non-defence background, been with us for quite a few. She's done 3 years now. She's in her 4th year. So, yeah, she's certainly had a few indoor cricket seasons under her belt working under the Axon banner. So, there's been a few memorable moments. GC Business Awards, Gold Coast Business Awards is something I really enjoyed. Seeing the whole team dressed to the nines was amazing. Different to the Axon polo we generally see everyone wearing on a day-to-day basis. So, yeah, Jane's had a really challenging last sort of 12 months or so, being that conduit between our clients and all the delays and access to raw materials and trades, etc. in the building industry. But yeah, again, a massive credit to her that she's been able to provide that voice of reasoning. She's like captain fullback when it comes to build support stuff, and yeah, like all the clients love her. So yeah, it's been a really
calm. She's very calm and measured, and she offers that to her team as well. When they're in such a stressful environment, she's still that really calm voice to them. It's okay, we're going to get through this kind of thing. It's the same with her clients. And that's probably just from having 130 kids.
No, I was going to say, I can't believe Jane didn't mention, Jane started with Axon and then, the very next day almost had to come to you guys and say, actually, guys, I'm pregnant. Yeah. I just thought I'd let you know that. And then we couldn't even live without her. So we needed to get the full-size cutout of Jane.
That's right.
Crept around in the men's toilets for a little while as well.
Yes, so I did. When she was going on maternity leave, I got a life-size cardboard cutout made of her. And it turned up, and when she was on mat leave, and she came in for a visit and just lost it. But yeah, in the meantime, we were hiding it all over the house that we were working out of.
Simo, the big war hero with Sabi, the wonder dog. I've never known anything to make him squeal as much as seeing a cardboard cutout of Jane.
It was the most high-pitched squeal coming from the toilets, and it was from Jane's cutout.
I mean, when we were broken up in the team, she was your build support manager back in the day. So to be fair, from a day-to-day workplace perspective, Dan, I don't think anyone knows her work ethic and professionalism and the way she interacts with her clients better than you. Can you pass on your insights into what you've seen her develop and progress along the way?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Jane is the type of person who's done everything there is to be done in the real estate industry. Quite frankly, could Jane sit in the property specialist lane? Yes. Could she sit up with us doing coaching? Yes. Could she do land acquisition, all of that stuff, engagement, BDM? She's been there, she's done that, she's got the sticker from whatever caravan park she stayed at as well. So her knowledge and expertise to be able to bring all that together and having such great connections within the entire industry makes her, I think one of the most versatile people in the team, that she can lend herself both from an advice perspective for the entire process with clients, but also within the team. If you want to talk about rental management, okay, go speak to Jane. If you want to be able to talk about this, or you need to be able to speak to a developer, or you want to be able to find something very, very niche, like Jane has got that much connection as well, that it's never too much to ask her, but you need to know to ask her, I suppose, is one of the best ways of describing it. And yeah, she gives all of that to her clients 110%. Very, very passionate. Such a mum in that regard. Like treats the clients like in a very passionate manner. Clients might not see the way she interacts with the builder, which is the whole point. But when she's representing your interests, I tell you what, like she puts her protective mum boots on, and she heads in there and she goes to war for you as well, which is a really interesting thing to watch if you don't get to see it from the outside.
Yeah, true.
Well said.
True.
Yeah, and now she gets the opportunity to lead her team, and I know she's really enjoying, adopting some of that leadership stuff that we're providing her. So yeah, thanks Jane for being an amazing team member. Yeah, and it was the very first thing that I knew that this business needed. Is I'm like, yeah, sweet, we can find client, coach client, find property for client. But who's going to build house for client? Not me. So I'm glad that she's sort of taken on that role, which is awesome. All right, and the last but not least is the great man himself, Mr. Dane Roche.
Man of many words.
Yeah,
Deb, over to you. What's your first thing that springs to mind when I say that name, Dane?
Oh my God, he's a wild man. But I love him.
He's a wild man.
Yeah,
He is. He's like, like I always refer to you and Dan, the boys as brothers, and he's just another, naughty rascal. Like, he is.
A naughty rascal.
Thank
is
you.
a very
I think.
No, and I mean that with great sincere and love for him. He's a good guy. He's passionate. He's so passionate. He wants the best for everybody. If you get an opportunity to chat with him, he's gold.
He's a funny fuck, there's no doubt about it, especially after a few drinks as well. But like you and I, the three of us actually discovered that when we had multiple calls with him when we were thinking about bringing him on. Like, it was a real risk to us. He was a great unknown. We didn't have any mutual friends. We had no one we could rely upon to say, look, what's going on with this guy? Is he everything that he says he is and does? And we did it nice and slowly and methodically, and we took a chance. And
both of you.
5 to 8 dates before we.
Yeah,
it's all right. I don't mind. I'd do it again.
You have to go listen to that podcast if you haven't. But Robbie was waiting for him to find out if he was going to leave the military, and
he was waiting to find out if he had a job.
Exactly. There was a bit of a stalemate there.
I don't mind. Like, we'd do it all again. It's now he's just turned out to be a fucking weapon of a coach. The clients love him. And, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but we've had so many Air Force people now come and make inquiries with us. And we're like, righto, you're the ex-Raffy. Go fucking talk to them. And they love him. So, and he's a bit like me. You can talk to them for that at that digger and junior NCO level, and certainly can talk to him at the officer level also.
And he does take a real caring approach as well. Like, you often hear him talking about, he's having conversations with them that are not even about property. They're about other things that are going on in their life, or transition, or, medical, or whatever it is. And he takes on, a bit of a brother kind of role to those people, and just having a chat to them, letting them vent about things. And, he really takes that caring approach as much as he is that buffhead larrikin. He really is passionate and caring about our clients as well.
One of the clients that he coached, he put together a plan and had that right conversation and got him stimulated to go and explore X, Y, and Z. And that guy got a retrospective discharge and he got paid 3 or 4 years salary in once. And we're talking like, $200,000 or $300,000, $400,000. So he's changed that guy's life immeasurably, which is really, really great. So he's
very passionate.
He's a fucking great man to have in the business. So yeah, that's good. Let's wrap it all up. I think Renee said it half an hour or so ago. Go fucking grab him, actually. Jace Cosgrove just walked in the door. Go get him.
I'll excuse myself.
Yeah. See you later, Deb. See you.
He's out there getting the Deb treatment.
Jace.
Lots of cuddles and everything like that out there. So
he doesn't know this. He's literally just walked in, and we're just
he's coming in for another meeting with us.
Come in, buddy. Come in.
Probably meant to start in about 5 minutes.
We're live. We're doing our Axon 5-year podcast. And you've been with us from the very start as well, brother. It's all right. Just chuck those bloody headphones on. You've joined us on our live Q&As
now the
before.
podcast is going to take off.
All right.
Bye, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome
Stand
to the
by.
man, the myth, the legend himself, Jace Cosgrove from Your Wealth Corporation. And Deb's been in here talking about the love that we have of the clients, etc. So, yeah, man, good to see you.
Mate, that's pretty good timing, eh? Thank you.
Perfect. I just saw you walk past. I'm like, fucking go grab him.
Yeah.
So, 5 years of Axon will be on the 27th of Feb. So, very soon approaching. And I guess we're talking to everyone about what you've noticed in the last 5 years, how far we've come, and, you know, what's been the biggest moments for you that you've experienced.
Where do I start?
I've got to start for you. Ready?
Right.
You knew these guys when the business was starting. What did you think when they said, hey, we're off to do our own thing? And how did you think it was going to go?
Oh, great
Right,
question.
well, hang on. Let me go back to that.
Okay.
But I want to start where I was going to start. So in my accounting business, I've got quite a few clients and quite a few good clients. And the one thing that I always notice with a business that you know is successful is when you walk in the front door. You walk in and you can feel the vibe, you can feel the energy, and you guys have had that from day one. You know, like without failure. There's no secret. It's no, whatever that word I'm looking for is. It's no surprise.
No surprise,
No
yes.
surprise that you guys are in the position that you're in, the growth that you've experienced, because, it's obvious. It's on social media. It's here. It's the clients I talk to, like multiple clients every single day, and it's always the same thing. And the reason for it is, and I'm the same, and I know it in you guys, is because you're in it for the benefit of the client, plain and simple. That is what it is. So, it's a testament to you guys where you've got to. So that kind of answered your question, mate. I guess I don't want to sound like I'm pumping up my own tires, but like attracts like, right? You see in others what you see in yourself. So I knew in Robbie, and then tomorrow when I got to know her better, that you guys were going to do well because of the person that you guys are, or the people that you guys are. So it was a given for me that you were going to do well, and it's no surprise. Like I love coming here, just to hang out and walk in here, and everyone gives me a hug. I don't get a hug at my own fucking office. I come in here, I get 15 hugs from girls and boys and everybody.
But I loved it, mate. I had a really great coaching session, and it was this little ad hoc one with a mate that I used to be in the commandos with. And he's like, look, boom, 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 we've got a few things going on. I want to buy a couple of properties. I want to put them in trusts. I want to make sure that our business and our personal finance interests are being protected. I gave you a call straight away. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm just letting you know I've got a client coming your way, X, Y, and Z. And you just said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful. And I love it that you are so grateful that you are able to contribute to our clients' needs, be in that financial planning, wealth creation, taxation space. And that's exactly who you are and what you do. So,
mate, I feel like I'm just an extension of Axon. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, you are.
It's
We'll
become
get you a shirt.
most of my clients, all of my new clients are Axon. And a big chunk of the business is now Axon clients, and the direction that I'm sort of heading is the focus of the military clients, which we've chatted about last couple of months. And so I just want to make sure I do a great job for you guys, and jump on the coattails for as long as I can stick onto them.
mate, I assure you, every
go
single person that I've spoken to is like, I just had a session with Jace Cosgrove. I'm like, how did that go? I'm like, really good.
Yeah.
He spoke to us about this, and he showed us the graph and showed us the projections and asked us a few questions that we, didn't know the answers to. And that's, none of us have a crystal ball, mate. But but we're all here for the betterment of our clients, putting a plan in place and allowing them to be educated and give them knowledge about what their future could hold for them.
Yeah.
And both of our businesses really are changing our clients their retirement.
Look,
You know?
I have this saying, and I say it to lots of people all the time. I go, I want a lot out of life. Like, I want a real lot out of life. The only way I know to get what I want is to help other people get what they want. You know what I mean? I'm not in it for what can I get out of this. I genuinely am in it for what can I help you, or how can I help you guys get what you want, and then I'll be looked after by default. And that's why we get on so well, because you guys are the same thing.
And I love listening.
Almost what you were just talking about before with the Nathan Cleary thing, right? Like, let's just focus on getting our processes right, and the outcome will look after itself.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love listening to your little weekly podcast your little weekly YouTube clips
Friday
that go
wrap,
out, the Friday wrap. My favourite two are, one of them is the boring part of the curve,
Boring end of the curve, mate. Yeah.
which is fucking gold. And then the other bit is about taking advice from family and friends, like
was
the
last
one that
week.
was late last week. That lady that almost sold her property
That was
too
one of your
soon.
clients, one of your clients.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Too soon. And then And then
She
She
yeah,
gave me a
knows
call
it.
and we
Oh,
crunched the
mate,
numbers, and
it's-
she's not even 30 days from 12 months. And it would
could-
have been
would have cost her
$40,000 tax bill.
20 grand difference.
And, yeah,
Holy
and,
shit.
and it was now only $20,000.
Yeah, it's just so like I literally just and yeah, everyone loves having family and friends, and as close as what we are with our clients, and as much effort that we put into making sure their well-being, it's paper, rock, scissors, Axon, family. Family always trumps everyone else. Got it. But by fuck, it can be an expensive
Yeah,
experience
mate.
if
And
you
that's what I
don't
said
get
in
it
last
right.
week's thing. You know, they genuinely are trying to look out for your best interest, but they don't know what we know to be able to give you that advice. You know what I mean? So lucky for her that because it was on the market and an offer had been made. It was this close to being sold.
Just
and
delay the settlement.
Yeah, well, no, it's contract date, mate.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a contract.
Contract
We
date.
learned that buying our place too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killer.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, awesome, mate. Thanks so much for coming to
Hey,
join us
look-
real quickly. And look, we're going to wrap it up here anyway. So it's such an amazing case in point that I was about to say we exist for you guys. Without the support and the understanding and the referrals that you've all made, like, you know, you put your own reputation on the line, ladies and gents, when you say, hey, you hear someone in your workspace, in your sphere, in your community talk about wealth creation, talk about property, talk about tax, talk about mortgage broking, anything. Hey, you should speak to the people that I'm speaking to. There's the Axon boys and girls there. Go and sort of do that. So thank you from me as the owner of the firm, and Tami, of course, as my right-hand woman. Dan is my right-hand man. Yeah, you know, thank you for all the amazing support that you guys have provided me as well. Without both of your support, I couldn't, you know, guide the ship, you know, putting it to the place. And fuck, we're just about to tip over creating $150 million of wealth into the defence community. And every single person listening to this podcast right now has been the benefit of that.
And that's sale price. That's not even including the way the market has grown in the last little
So it's
while.
already tipped over, but
It
I
would
don't
have
want
been
to.
over,
I
but-
don't want to over exaggerate things.
Correct.
I'm just making sure that it's crystal clear and true. So stand by for our 5-year Axon anniversary. By the time you guys listen to this podcast, the boat parties probably would have already happened.
You'll see
You-
the shots on social.
Yes,
The
and,
photo shots, not the shot
yeah.
shots.
Yes.
You must see both, mate.
I'm actually glad my dear mother from South Australia is coming to join us for that boat cruise. So I will be on my somewhat better behaviour than what I would have been on. Put it that
She
way.
might not be.
So that's going to be
Jokes.
cool. And yeah, thank you again for everyone. And yeah, here's to another 5 years and beyond. We'll be
Absolutely.
here.
Let's stir it up. All right. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.